Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast.
This is a show dedicated to helping you become a better organist.
We're your hosts, Vidas
And Ausra Pinkevičienė.
We have over 25 years of experience of playing the organ.
And we've been teaching thousands of organists online from 89 countries since 2011.
So now let's jump in and get started with the podcast for today.
We hope you'll enjoy it.
Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 630 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Andrei, and he writes, Hi Vidas and Ausra, I have a question for you. If in a church there is a need for an organist, and the only two keyboardists are a professional concert pianist and a mediocre intermediate organist, whom do you think would be better to play on the organ? That's an interesting question, right, Ausra?
Yes, but if I would have to choose, I would choose mediocre intermediate organists. Because you can be perfect professional concert pianist, but it doesn't mean that you will be even a mediocre on the organ if you don't know how to play it.
Because, let's face it, piano and organ has similarities, only certain similarities, like keyboards are the same, right? Sometimes reversed color, but basically the keys are in the same order. What else, Ausra?
And that's pretty much all we have in common. Everything else is different. Even sound is produced by a different principle.
Yes, on the piano, they produce the sound with the help of the hammers and strings, hitting the strings. And as soon as the hammer hits the strings, the sound starts to fade. What's different about the organ, Ausra?
Organ basically is a wind instrument because it consists of pipes and it has bellows, so basically it's a different kind of instrument comparing to the piano, and approach to it is very different. Of course, if you have a good piano technique, it never hurts for you and it would help for you on the organ, but still it's not the only thing.
What if you really are professional concert pianist and want to play the organ? Is it possible to get used to the new techniques?
Sure, but I guess you will still have to have at least some organ lessons. That would teach you, the basic approach to an instrument because it has pedal. Because if you will only play, the manual part or accompany hymns on the manuals, it won't do any good because playing pedal is a crucial part of any organist's routine.
What about if the situation was reversed? You needed to play professionally the piano, and there are a mediocre pianist, right? And then world-class concert organist. What's then?
Well, let's not bother to turn our heads about that because this is not our question, not what Andrei is asking.
But hypothetically, this situation might arise in some churches if they only have like a piano and two choices: very poor pianist, poor sight reading pianist, and with poor technique, and very good organist. Organist probably would do it, right? On the piano.
Yes, I think that's an easier way than another one.
So probably organists are in more demand than pianists, right, Ausra, because of this?
Yes, because piano doesn't require such a good coordination as does the organ. Let's face it, it's thinking in sort of steps while playing the organ. And playing the piano, you have only one keyboard. Of course, it's much wider, but still, you don't have to coordinate so much. You just have to coordinate between your right and left hand. But with an organ, you also have plus 2 feet, to manage to.
And we are not talking about the most advanced piano repertoire. We are talking about general basic piano repertoire that could be played in a church setting, liturgical setting. Of course, then organist would have an easier time adapting. But what's different with the organists have to then learn how to use the sustained pedal, the right pedal from scratch, right? But usually organists play piano before starting to play the organ, right?
Yes, so I don't think that's a real problem, I think it's harder to, to go to play the organ if you only did piano before. It takes a while. It takes a while, to find the right touch and to manage to coordinate everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because, just don't think that, if you are a good piano player, that you will sit on the organ bench, you will do exactly the same thing as you did on the piano and that it will work. No, it will not. Definitely it will not.
So you need some basic foundation techniques to learn about the organ, get used to it, maybe observe a real organist working on the organ for starters, and then a little bit later ask permission to play a short piece, here and there, with the guidance from a real organist.
I have happened to observe a few times in my life as, the good pianist comes to the organ, for example, to accompany a choir. That's a very common situation. And he or she sits down on the organ bench and starts to play and doing all these wrist and elbows motion and, using your shoulders. And basically it's so different from the organ, and we try to force it, as we do on the piano, to make the sound deeper or louder, and it's just not how it works. Instead of that, you just have a slower tempo and a really big mess.
Yeah, one of the most crucial differences on the organ from the piano is that you have to control your releases very much, the endings of the chords. When you release both hands together or not together, it's really audible on the organ, much more so than on the piano.
Definitely, that's because the sound doesn't die in the organ, on the organ.
Right. But that's a good question. Sometimes really churches have to pick which one they would find more usable in a liturgical setting, professional concert pianist or a mediocre organist.
Well, in Lithuania, usually church organists don't get paid well enough. So I think even to have a mediocre or intermediate organist, it's even too good for the salary that usually organists in Lithuania get. So
Yeah, the salary that they pay is usually only for showing up, right? If you showed up, I think that's good enough for that salary. But if you want to play something, in a Western society, it would be just not enough to survive.
yes, but let's see if that professional concert pianist is young and is willing to learn. I'm quite sure that with time he or she could adjust, and become excellent organist as well. And if that organist, let's say, is older in age and is only mediocre and intermediate level and doesn't want to improve, then I think it would be harder to achieve, let's say, higher level. So it depends on the situation, and of course depends on the what the church needs actually, what kind of music we need to support the liturgy.
Yes, whether they need more organ music or keyboard music. That's the big difference, right? If they need piano music more than the organ, then
But if we do a lot of congregational singing and value the hymns, then I would say that intermediate organist works better than a pianist.
Agree. So guys, we hope this was useful to you. Please send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.
This podcast is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online.
It has hundreds of courses, coaching and practice materials for every area of organ playing. Thousands of instructional videos and PDFs. You will not find more value anywhere else online.
Total Organist helps you to master any piece, perfect your technique, develop your sight reading skills, and improvise or compose your own music and much more.
Sign up and begin your training today at organduo.lt and click on Total Organist. And of course you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
If you like our organ music, you can also support us on Patreon and get free CDs.
Find out more at patreon.com/secrets of organ playing.